Okay, we're rolling.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave with you. I hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about empathy and compassion here on the podcast and how this relates to our podcast journey. And I want to move you from being empathetic to being compassionate. And there's a reason. So stick around. If you are really into empathy and being an empathetic person, but you're lacking compassion, you might be missing a step. And I think it's going to impact you, your content, your creation of your content, and your connection with your audience. Let's move from empathy to compassion here on the How to Podcast series. I'm glad you're here. Let's go. So we've probably heard this saying before, but action speaks louder than words. When we talk about empathy and being an empathetic person or an empath, right? We hear this a lot. And the empathy, if we could break it down into simple terms, empathy is simply the idea that you can relate to and identify with the feelings of others. Simple definition. I get it. There's way better definitions than that. But as a quick snapshot, that's empathy. Ability to identify with the feelings of others. Compassion, on the other hand, it embraces empathy, but it also is the compulsion to act, to do something about it. Not just feel the feelings, but to address and be a representative of, or a voice of, or act on the behalf of. That's compassion. So there's a difference. And I think in podcasting, when we talk about having empathy for our guests, or empathy for our listener, right? We are identifying with the feelings, the feeling sides, the warms and fuzzies of all of that. But I'm encouraging you as a podcaster to use your platform to demonstrate compassion. I want you to be a compassionate podcaster, not simply an empathetic podcaster. I want you to use your podcast as an action lever that you can pull, that you have this platform, that because you've created this community and because you've created this voice, your voice has power. Your voice has the power to motivate action from your listeners, not simply empathy. Again, I'm not anti-empathy. I think we need a lot of this in our world today as you watch the news. Empathy is really feeling the listener's struggle. And compassion is when you act to lift it, right? It goes from feeling to action. For podcasters, I think this distinction really helps us to transform our content from being a broadcaster into being a compassionate podcaster. Here's the difference between radio and podcasting, right here. Radio can deal and live in the world of empathy. But podcasting, I find, deals in the world of action. Someone who doesn't just understand the audience pain points, but actively solves them, or finds solutions, or brings on people who have the knowledge to help you get past the thing that you're feeling and gives you the tools to act. And I think by doing this as a podcaster, we build loyalty that you're not going to see in your downloads. It's not a number, right? It's when people have a different path because of your show. It's the compassionate side of podcasting. And I think we need to lean into this a little bit more as content creators. So what's the difference between empathy and compassion on the microphone? I think empathy is stepping into your listener's shoes. So saying things on the mic on your podcast, like I get how frustrating it is to hit publish and hear crickets. That's empathy. You feel their isolation as a solo creator and their burnout from editing marathons, their doubt when downloads stall. But compassion, I find, takes it further. It's the response of, let me shorten this episode so that you can apply it today, or share my exact Google Form survey that doubled my feedback. Like, it goes beyond connecting and relating to what somebody's feeling to then giving some solutions on their behalf. Because maybe they're so caught up in the feelings of the moment, they can't see clearly to a solution where you can come in and in a compassionate way, not just offer a companionship in their feelings, but a way out. You become a guide. Empathy keeps you relatable, and I think we need empathy in podcasting, but compassion makes you indispensable. Listeners stick with shows that serve them, not just sympathize and relate. So some practical ways to be a more compassionate podcaster that I think you can apply to your next episode and to your show in general. So first, solve that next problem. Empathy could be recording alone feels lonely as a podcaster. Compassion could be end episodes with a 2-minute quick win that they can use immediately, like a free template or a free episode planning scheduler or something that helps people, a tool. Your action turns passive listening into progress. So solve their problem. And then number 2, respond to every single comment. To respond to every single comment, you need to be where the comments are happening. So again, my reminder to you, if your podcast is on Spotify, which it should be, there's comments available in every single episode. And if you never, even if you're not hosted on Spotify, for creators, you can still claim your show on there. And you can have access to your audience in the comments. So if you've never been there, you might already have people interacting with your show that you're completely unaware of. Interact with your comments on YouTube, because your podcast should be on YouTube, even in audio format. Your podcast should be there. It's a way to engage with your audience. Engage, engage, engage. When people leave you a buy me a coffee, give them a video response. When people leave you a voice message through SpeakPipe, respond with another voice message back to them. All in your DMs and emails, everything. Whenever there's a touch point from your audience to you, always reach back out. Always make that bond stronger. Respond to every comment. Your audience will become super fans. We'll talk about you in your show when they feel acknowledged, identified, and supported. If you don't do that, it's going to be really hard to grow your show. So to be a more compassionate podcaster, respond to every comment. Also, cut content ruthlessly and honor your audience's time. Doing a 1-hour podcast because that's what you want to do, and you only have 10 minutes of content, you stretch out over an hour, is not serving your audience. So cut down on the things that don't add value and focus on making your podcast as concise as possible and honor your audience's time. Don't take advantage of your audience and their availability. Give them what they're looking for and do it in the shortest amount of time possible. Respect the busy schedule of your audience while rewarding their loyalty. Edit your shows. For those people who are like, I don't edit, I just hit record and do what I do. It shows a lack of concern and care for your audience, in that it's an arrogant stance that you're perfect and your audience will adjust. It's not audience-centric. It's your own personal view, but it doesn't add value over time. So stop doing that and focus on your audience, because they would love to give you that feedback, but they probably won't. But I will. Cut down ruthlessly and make your podcast as concise as possible and honor your audience's time and create listener-first resources. No matter what your podcast is about, you're going to have opportunities to share resources with your audience. build out things that give your audience value. So, like for me, I could create a list of how to set up Audacity or a video for podcasters, specifically for podcasters to help you start with Audacity, my recording platform that I'm using right now, or a checklist for 10 great interview starter questions, or a onboarding sheet for guest intake, right? These are things that help people as free resources. Don't hide them from people. One action can serve many people. So think of what you can create: a resource, a newsletter, something that will help your audience, and do that. And also follow up on all of your feedback. Right now for the How to Podcast series, currently at the time of recording, we have our feedback audience survey is available. It's in the show notes. It's on my website. And it's just a simple set of questions about the show, looking for your feedback on how we can make it better. So create some feedback loop for your show and encourage people to respond. Action from your audience proves that you listen to the show. So have something out there for people to respond to. Because if you don't, there's no reason for them to reach out to you. So create the expectation that you're looking for feedback by giving them a resource. Again, I'm using a Google form that's directly connected to my Google Sheets. So everything that comes in goes right into one document, and I can see all my responses in one click. It's great. So set it up. And the other thing we can do as podcasters, no matter what our content is we can offer private assistance and connection. Podcasting is so unique compared to like traditional radio, where not even all of the radio voices you hear are even in your city. There might even be like dumped into your local market from some other bigger market. They might not even live where you live. They're not even local, or they're not available. Try calling into a radio show. Good luck, right? Now, reach out to a podcaster and you're going to be surprised at how quickly the majority of active podcasters are going to respond to you. Podcasters are always looking for engagement. And when somebody reaches out, it's game on. So you're going to get a way better response and quality response from a podcaster you're going to get from watching your favorite TV star or a movie star or musician or radio personality. Podcasters are different. We can create personalized breakthroughs and create lifelong advocates and connections as podcasters. And only us podcasters can do this in the way that we have and the tools that we have. So lean into that. So why does compassion win listeners? An empathetic podcaster connects emotionally, and that's important. But a compassionate one creates transformation. When listeners think, this show just gets me and helps me win, they subscribe, they review, they share, they sustain you through those times when interactivity is low. You want your audience to walk away with, I feel like this show was made for me. Empathy draws listeners in, and compassion turns them into family. So move beyond feeling their struggles and act with specific and immediate help. Be that resource. Your audience doesn't need another podcast. They need a partner who solves their real problems week after week, episode after episode. Your listener is looking for a companion, not just a podcast. So be that. Be that compassionate podcaster that goes beyond the feelings and identifying with the feeling and moves to the action, the doing. And by that, you're going to grow your show. So from empathy to action, becoming a compassionate podcaster starts with you and starts with action. So take action today. And I'd love to hear how you're making your podcast more compassionate. Reach out anytime. I love to chat. Take care. So I get asked quite often, usually at the end of a podcast, like right now, Dave, how can we help you? Like, how can we, as a listener, like, support the show? Can we come rake your leaves? Can we cut the grass? Shovel the snow? Watch your dog? Help you move? What can we do? Clean your dishes? Oh, that'd be interesting. Well, if you can't do that because, you're in Poland, maybe you can help us by supporting us with our Buy Me a Coffee. It's right there on our website. And, it just will help us to, A, stay fueled because, we drink a lot of coffee around here. And it helps the show. So if you want to help us, it's out of the goodness of your heart. I can tell you that listening to the podcast to this point, you've already helped us so much. But I do have people saying, Dave, I'd love to give back something small, even just to the show. Buy Me a Coffee link is on our website at howtopodcast.ca. And you can support the show that way. It would mean a lot to have you on our team supporting what we do here. If you find value in the show, then that's great. Share the show. Tell somebody about it. And when somebody says, Dave, I want to start a podcast, who should I check out? Oh, you should go check out the How to Podcast series because of all the great co-hosts and all the things that happen here, the meetups, everything. And I would appreciate that. And then fill our cup once in a while if you can. But again, thank you so much for being here and supporting the How to Podcast series. Take care. Talk soon. You're still here? Awesome. This is the bonus stuff at the end of the episode that most people aren't going to hear. So I do this on purpose because I want to reward people who stay to the end of the episode and acknowledge that not everybody's going to hear this content. But it's for you. So thank you for being here. And thank you for sticking around. This whole topic of video and audio podcasting. I want you to be gentle with this because I'm getting a lot of interesting comments and some not so gentle approaches to this topic of video podcasting. First, as an interviewer, give your guests the option of being on video or not being on video. For my Living the Next Chapter podcast, I get a lot of first-time guests on that show. And some of my guests write under pen names. They write under pen names because they could put themselves into danger by identifying their location and their real name and being on camera. Someone will recognize them. So they opt to not do video. Now, if I had a video-only approach to my show, that guest would never be a guest. They would decline because video is not an option for them. So don't be arrogant about video. Realize that some people can't do video, won't do video. They're not willing to do video. So don't be arrogant and don't be preachy about video podcasting. If your guest wants audio, give them audio. And for you audio podcasters, if they want video, then do your best to create a video version of the podcast as well. And at the very least, if you don't have the tools or resources to create a video podcast and the guest has a team, don't hog the content. Don't hide it. Don't be unwilling to share. Let their team have it. Let their team do the edits. It's fine. Without the guest, you wouldn't even have the content. So be okay with that, right? It's okay. Put good things out in the world. Good things will find you. So my encouragement for you as a starting podcaster, just focus on the audio to get started. You still need to find your voice. You still need to find your cadence. You still need to find your content. Don't put undue stress upon you if video is not your default setting. If you come from video, if you come from TV and movie, then you are way ahead of all of us in podcasting. So lean into your skill set. But for the rest of us, just be you and do what you can with what you have where you are. If video doesn't fit right now, maybe it'll fit later. It's fine. Create what you can. And don't let somebody poo-poo you into or force you into doing something you don't want to do. This is your show. So if you want to do video, do video. If you want to do audio, do audio. If you want to mix or hybrid of both, do whatever serves you and your guest and your audience. But do what you can with what you have where you are, video or not. Create the content, get your voice out there, get started, and then build from there. If you need help, howtopodcast.ca. Thanks for being here.